Hey, Limitless Youth Ministry. Happy Wednesday to you guys. Hope you guys are staying cool. It is still hot out there, man. I can't remember how many consecutive days in a row it's been so hot outside. I mean, even when I was a kid, it didn't seem like it was this hot outside. But as I got to thinking about what I want to share with you guys today, I got to thinking about prayer. And in 1 Thessalonians 5:17 in the New Living Translation version, it says, never stop praying. Now, Paul was speaking to the church of Thessalonica, and he was just trying to give them some advice, and he was giving them some encouragement. And because the reason why is because this actual church had just became newly introduced to the Lord. Newly introduced to Jesus and Christianity as a whole, because some studies say that the church had only been believers for a few months. So when Paul came to visit them, he came and wrote them a letter just to encourage them and to give them some advice about being a Christian and what we need to look out for, because we all know, as being believers in God and being followers of Jesus, persecution, attacks, and all those things come. And Paul was warning them that persecution is going to come your way for following Jesus. But I want to give you guys some advice on what you should do as you follow Christ. He talked about how they didn't need to be afraid. They need to be there for one another, not to be lazy, not to return evil for evil, doing what's right by one another, not cheating one another. Always consider joy. And if anybody knows about joy, it's Paul. Even the book of Philippians was written by Paul, and it was all about joy. And he wrote this book in prison. So if you can write anything full of and be joyous about something, being persecuted like that, you must know something about joy. And he encouraged them to be joyful, but he also encouraged them to never stop praying. And he also encouraged them to be thankful for all circumstances. So, but I want to take focus for a second on the never stop praying part. Because if we never stop doing anything for that time in the present, in the future, whatever it is that we're doing, we're never going to cease to do it. So if I say I'm going to never stop praying, that means that I'm not going to let anything stop me or come in between me praying. Now, as believers, or even as people, we have a tendency to give up on prayer a lot sooner than we need to. Either our prayers are not being answered fast enough, or we prayed one time and we thought that was enough, or we allow the circumstances that we're praying for to get us to stop praying, because those situations seem like they weigh you down so much to where you just give up on prayer because the situation is so tough. But Paul was saying, hey, don't let those situations get in your way like that. Don't let them bog you down. Don't let them affect your prayer life. Never stop praying. And when we get to that place where we're praying and praying and praying and praying, and we hadn't got an answer, that should let you know that you did actually get an answer. When we pray, and we hadn't got an answer yet, that should let you know that you should not stop praying. Like, man, I've been praying for this for weeks. I hadn't heard anything from God yet. There's your answer right there. To like, hey, I hadn't heard from God yet, so that means I need to continue to keep praying. Because even Philippians 4:6 tells us not to be anxious or not to worry about anything, but in everything we need to pray. If we're afraid, we need to pray. If we don't know what to do, we need to pray. If you need something, pray. And after we pray, thank him for what he's going to do in your situation, because by faith, you're trusting in God to provide that thing because you did come to him to pray. Because I'm going to tell you this, it is much better to trust in the hands of God to provide those things in prayer than in our own hands. If you're having problems, pray. I mean, the point of what I want you guys to see is that we're not to stop praying, because prayer is our lifestyle. And the key to praying is actually not stopping. If you hadn't heard anything or about prayer, or you've heard a million things about prayer, but one thing that you need to know for sure is that the key to prayer is not stopping. And when we stop praying, we cut off so many opportunities for God to move in our behalf. Make prayer a lifestyle. As we get dressed every day, as we do the daily things that we do, eat, drink, sleep, make prayer a part of that lifestyle too. Let prayer be a habit that you get hooked on and can't let go. And let prayer be a part of your everyday. Let it be a part of everything that you do, everything that when you're going through. Let prayer be a part of that process. Let prayer be your first resort instead of your last option. Love you guys. Miss you guys. Can't wait till we meet again soon, and stay encouraged. I'll talk to you guys in a few days. Blessings.